Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Tony Viz, and I'm here a day late, but sorry I couldn't get around to this yesterday. Had a busy day yesterday, so here I am today, a day late, with my Raw recap video. Overall, I thought this week's show was a little bit, mediocre at best. I thought it was a little on the weak side. So we'll just get right to the show then. Okay, so the show started. Mick Foley comes out. He says that he got a call from the board of directors saying that they were calling former GMs to host the shows every week or what have you. And he mentions that he was the commissioner. And he says this week he'll be running both Raw and SmackDown. Before we get into anything else, why not just, make Teddy Long the SmackDown GM again? That would make the most sense. Holla holla player. But I don't know, make Teddy Long the GM of both shows or whatever. Hell, have Paul Heyman be the GM of Raw. Yeah. But so then Foley mentions that being that he's the GM for the night. He's made a tag match. The two champs, CM Punk and Sheamus versus Kane and Daniel Bryan. And then he brings up Johnny Ace being allowed to give his farewell address. And that doesn't make any sense, because the guy loses the match, he loses his job. It's like if you lose your job, you're not going to be given a chance to give a farewell speech out the door. They did that with Cena when the Nexus thing, and it's like, who the hell believed Cena was going to lose the Big Show and be sacked anyway? But anyway, so then Foley introduces Big Johnny as the former GM. Johnny comes out. He's still got the stupid crutch. He's got a neck brace, his right arm in a sling, and what have you. And he gets in the ring. Foley hugs him, whatever. And then Johnny gets the mic and says who he is. He says he's the GM, what have you, as the first what have you of this video. I know I say that pretty often. And the fans just chant "You suck" at Johnny, and he says his name again. The fans boo him, and he says something to Foley, and then Johnny's Foley tells Angel like, "Hey, can you not be so noisy while Johnny's talking or whatever?" And then, you want me to tell him that you said Long Island sucks too? So Foley was saying, he said Long Island sucks, and then it's like the fans rag on him, whatever. Ace just tells him to shut up. And he calls the Long Island fans the rudest fans and he's ever been in front of or whatever. And then this didn't make any sense either because it's like, what did he say? He said before he was canned, his final act as GM was to make the main event for Raw. Now, if he had won, that means if Show had won, that means Cena would have lost and would have been canned. So it doesn't make any sense. So he made Cena versus Big Show, Otunga, and himself. Now, like I said, with Cena, if Big Show had won, Cena would have gotten sacked, and the match couldn't take place. But logic and WWE do not mix, as we all know. And then he tells Mick Foley, have a nice day, whatever. And he says Foley's catchphrase to him. Then Sheamus comes out as Johnny's walking up and then Johnny goes out the ring, walks up the ramp. And then as he's walking out, then CM Punk comes out, and Johnny's up, at the bottom of the ramp. He comes out, and then Punk just taunting him or whatever. And then the second one idea. Then Punk, gets on the turnbuckle, holding up the belt, and he gets in the ring with Foley and Sheamus, and Lauren Ice walks to the back. And that was your opening segment. Kind of mediocre, I thought. We've seen Foley as the commission GM, whatever you want to call it. It's been done before. He actually wasn't on the show after this. But, like I said, and of course Johnny Ace is, that character is really beyond played out now, so I'm hoping that after a while he'll be, they'll actually take him off the shows, because the guy is just so freaking boring. So anyway,
And before I get onto it, the match that he announced was that Johnny Ace made about Cena versus Charlotte Tonga himself. Like I mentioned them when I went to the live Raw on Hartford last week. That was the main event dark match um, of that show. But this segment was, like I said, this segment was kind of but thankfully it wasn't too long. So then we get to right away. We have we get to Punk and Sheamus versus Kane and Daniel Bryan. Punk and Sheamus win. Sheamus gets the pin on Daniel Bryan. Good match. What happened was during the match, AJ's music hit. I hate when they have someone's music play when they come out, and she comes out wearing a Kane mask, and she's got like black and red on. She's dressed like Kane. She comes in, skips around the ring, and then skips to the back, and then Kane gets distracted by that, and then Daniel Bryan gets GTS and then by Punk and Bro kicked by Sheamus, and then Sheamus pins him. The end. Good match, but like AJ coming out with wearing the Kane mask, I was kind of weird. So anyway, then we get to Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger backstage, and they're bickering over who was a better world champion. Like they both had two of the most forgettable runs, and they both bicker about who's better, blah blah blah. And Dolph says to him that Vicky knows who the real star of the team is, and then Vicky comes in and says, it's time for her to just get, she's had enough of two of them bickering all the time, and it's time for her to decide which guy deserves her respect, affection, admiration, or whatever. So, and she said she spoke to Mick Foley and said they'll settle this in the ring right now. I thought this was kind of lame. It's just like, okay, so we get Dolph versus Swagger. Vicky manages the winner. Okay, whatever. Then we go into another backstage segment with Johnny Ace and David Otunga, and they're laughing it up. I don't know why. I mean, Johnny Ace lost his job he lost his job on Sunday night, but he finds it funny that they're going to give Cena another beating or whatever. So they're Ace and Otunga, and they're laughing it up, blah blah blah. Big Show comes in and asks what's so funny, and Big Johnny says that what's funny is that Cena can't beat Show in a one-on-one match, much less a 3-on-1 handicap match. He says that then Big Johnny says the fans don't deserve him because he gave them the most entertaining product or whatever with the people power and all that bullcrap. So he's saying the fans don't deserve him because they didn't appreciate him, what have you. There's my third one, have you. And he says what's funny is that he'll leave a lasting impression that the fans and Cena won't forget. So then Show says, I don't find anything funny at all. And then he walks out. And Otunga's like, hey, he's in a bad mood. Then Johnny's like, tonight, Cena will get his. Snooze Fest City. Dull segment. Then we get to Swagger Ziggler. Solid match. Swagger actually worked over the Dolph's ankle and his leg through a good portion of the match. I think he got the ankle lock in a few times. Then, pretty much out of nowhere, Ziggler hit the zigzag, got the pin. So now Vicky was managing him. She gets in the ring. She hugs Dolph. They make out or whatever. And that was pretty much it. Then they show Triple H's promo from No Way Out. He challenges Lesnar to a match at SummerSlam. My God, I did not see No Way Out. Thank God I didn't. But that promo was stupid. He was like, you and me at SummerSlam. Oh, you could just be a quitter. But we're going to fight at SummerSlam. Good God. That was a horrible promo. So then they show a limo in the back. Whoa, who's in there? Is it Brock Lesnar? Fuck no. So back to the show. Brock's music hits. And out comes the promo king himself, Paul Heyman. And he says that he's here representing Lesnar. He said that every person, he mentions that every person up in the Titan Towers in Stanford always cater to Triple H's wins and kiss his ass and all that bullshit. But Brock isn't one of those people. And he says that Brock isn't dropping the lawsuit against WWE. Heyman's not dropping his lawsuit against Triple H, and Brock won't fight Triple H at SummerSlam. And then that was pretty much it. Then he says, thank you, and that's it. And that was it. He thanks the fans. And then, time to play the motherfucking game. Well, it's not a good. And then Triple H's music, and then he comes out. And then he says,
we're not in the bingo hall, and he said, we're not in the bingo hall, and I'm not one of your cronies drinking your Kool-Aid or whatever.
Did they really have to take another shot at ECW, for God's sake? I mean, come on, you own the fucking library. Jeez. Give it a rest already. Come on. Vince, Triple H, the two of you motherfuckers. Please. Yes, just quit burying what you own now, for Christ's sake. Oh, sorry about that. So Hunter says that, Brock wants to be a star and he can make it happen. And he says that if Lesnar fights Triple H at SummerSlam, if he agrees to the match, this will be the poster of this will be the SummerSlam poster. They show a SummerSlam poster on the Tron, and it's got Brock Lesnar's kisser on it. So Hunter says he can make that happen if Brock fights him. Heyman says Brock has no ego, and then Hunter says that Heyman is usually a better liar than this. And he's saying, that's kind of funny from the guy who wanted the show to be called Monday Night Raw starring Brock Lesnar. And he was saying that it's, Triple H was saying that for Lesnar it's all about the money and the ego. And, like Triple H doesn't have one. I mean, who was handed the belt and champion like 500 billion times? Oh yeah, that's right, it was you, Hunter. Dumbass. Whatever. So then Triple H says that if Brock doesn't accept this challenge, he'll be remembered as the guy who's scared of Triple H. Okay, whatever. And then Heyman says that Hunter almost had him. He's like, you are that damn good or whatever, But he didn't fall for Triple H's line or whatever. And then Heyman tells Triple H to stop being the ass-kicking, to stop acting like the ass-kicking wrestler he used to be. Those days are over. He tells him to go back to Titan Towers, where everybody will kiss his ass and tell him whatever, and humor him and say whatever the fuck he wants him to say. And he says that, after once they go through, their lawsuits are done, Brock and Heyman will be running WWE, and in their world, Hunter isn't the king of anything. And he says that Heyman says that Triple H is more like Vince as the days go on or whatever. And he says he'll push Triple H's buttons the same way he's pushed Vince's years ago. And then he says, in the Brock Heyman WWE world, they'll have nothing for Hunter once they run the company. And then he says, well, we will have something for Stephanie. And then Triple H grabs Heyman by the collar and he's strangling him. And then Heyman's goating him into hitting him. And he's like, oh, go ahead, do it. And then he finds Triple H to go over him. And Heyman says, he knows Hunter really well. He knows he knows what moves Hunter's going to make before he does. And, saying, it's like, I know you're not, he's like, oh yeah, I know you're not going to hit me, blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, Triple H punches him. Then Triple H says, tells Heyman to tell Brock Lesnar that he'll see him at SummerSlam. That is, if Lesnar isn't afraid that what happened to Heyman just now won't happen to him. Like it's a mixed bag segment. Heyman, fantastic promo guy. Oh, always was, always will be. Yeah, I enjoyed his part of it. He was always great on the mic. Triple H's promo though was just so it's like it just felt like, hey, look at me, I'm in the McMahon family and I get to be on the goddamn TV again. It's just like and it's like he took it's like and they took another shot at ECW. It was like, yeah, we gotta bury ECW in a bingo hall. I mean, no. I mean, God, come on, McMahons. You own the freaking footage. You really feel the need to bury it all the fucking time. Give it a rest. But anyway, Heyman's promo was good. Triple H's, I was never a big fan of his anyway, so I always found his promos sometimes be long and boring. Okay, now that my Triple H impersonation is out of the way, back to the show. Ricardo Rodriguez is in the ring after he had that god-awful tuxedo match with Santino at No Way Out. And he introduces the returning Alberto Del Rio. So Del Rio comes out in one of his cars, and he like he's returning from his concussion. I guess he wasn't up to facing Sheamus last night, or not last night, on Sunday at No Way Out. But he was up against Santino here. It's a different kind of match. Del Rio just dominated the whole time. He got the cross-arm breaker on Santino. Santino tapped out, and that was it. And then afterwards, Santino gets up. And then Ricardo grabs Santino by the arm and gives him kind of like an armbar takedown. He's like, he takes him back down. like I say, Santino just got killed here. You know, Santino and like U.S. title doesn't mean anything anyway, so it's just like whatever. Then we get to, my God, this segment sucks so fucking bad. Layla was in the ring, and she introduces the guests for the night. Cyndi fucking Lauper. And Cindy and Wendy Richter come out, and my God, they look horrible here. They come out to that stupid ass song that they made 25 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. That song sucked then, and it sucks now. So Cindy and Richter get in the ring. Cindy says it's great to see Richter, talking like, she talks like freaking Harley Quinn. For those who don't know, that's the Joker's hench girl on the Batman animated series. Hell, she could have done the voice. She could have done the voice of Harley Quinn. Pudding. Okay. So then, Wendy says, "Oh, it just feels like just yesterday that Cindy was matching her at the first WrestleMania, and then I'm just one man, Heath Slater comes out, and he says that this segment is a train wreck. Can't argue with that one. And then Lauper asks him who he is, and he said, he's the one-man band. He's like, and then Cindy's like, oh, I could afford to have more than one people in my band. I can actually afford one. And then Slater says that he's not going to let Cyndi Lauper ruin his moment, and he tells them to scram so he can sing his first single. And then he sings a rendition of his theme song, the one-man band. And then, cue the bagpipes, Roddy Piper comes out. He got a good pop. Oh, before I continue, Heyman actually got some ECW chants in that promo before, as long as we're talking about crowd reactions here. So Piper comes out, big pop, he kisses Layla, and then he is very gentlemanly to Cindy and Wendy Richter, kissing them on the hands, doing that shit and everything. And then he tells Miss Slater to hit the bricks. And, Slater even says, he asked Piper, you never liked Cyndi Lauper back in the day, what are you doing out here? And then Piper says, oh, that was a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. The Rock and Wrestling Connection is what launched to WWE to where it is now. And then he says he loves everything about Cindy, and he's got something special for her. And then he's handed some guy ringside hands him a freaking gold record. And then Piper mentions the late great Captain Lou Albano. Piper mentions that he broke the record over Lou's head back in the day. And then he said that he wants to give Cindy this gold record on behalf of himself, Captain Lou, and for the fans. And Piper says that it's like she's the best lady he's ever known, or whatever, and loves what she's done for him, for Wendy Richter, and for Layla. Okay, I don't know what the hell Cyndi Lauper's done for Layla. Then they all hugging and shit like that. And then Slater says that that was all 20 years ago. It was actually more like 25, or maybe a little more, and no one remembers or cares. And I think he's right there. Anyway, so then Slater says that one day he'll get a gold record. He starts singing the song again. Piper tells him he sings like a vulture, and then he pokes him in the eye, and then Lauper breaks the gold record over Slater's head. I think what happened was she hit him once, it didn't break or whatever, and then she busted it over his head, and I think Slater actually legit bled from that. And then Piper's like, medic! Oh man, but this segment was this oh my god, segment so bad, and it's just like like I say, Wendy Richter and Cyndi Lauper have not aged well. This whole segment was pure, total crap. I fucking hated this segment. It was freaking horrible. No one has a clue as to who the fuck Cyndi Lauper is these days. It's just like, why do they bring these old, it's like, why are they bringing Cyndi Lauper in when they have, when they're trying to market to people who weren't even born when she was around? I mean, geez, WWE, come on, it's like you're not going to get your old school fans back by bringing in Cyndi Lauper. God. Anyway, sorry about that. I just can't stand Cyndi Lauper. I just thought she always sucked. Anyway, so back from commercial. Then we get Primo, Epico, Rosa in the ring. Abraham Washington turned on them in a meaningless four-way at No Way Out, and he sided with Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, who are now known as the Primetime Players. So the Primo, Epico, Rosa in the ring. AW comes out, and he says that he's the owner of, now AW stands for All World Promotions. And then he introduces Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, the Primetime Players. So we get a match. Pretty pointless, it's just like, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young won that four-way at No Way Out to become number one contenders for the tag belts. It's like, why not just They could have just had the winners of that 4-way at No Way Out become the champions since R-Truth is out with a broken foot. It's like, who knows when they'll get the tag title shot, if ever, since the tag belts haven't been shit in years anyway. So anyway, prime time players just walk out. They were just like, screw this, we don't need it. And Primo and Epico win by countout. I thought the match was solid, but the end was kind of weak, and overall the match was pretty meaningless. Then they showed Johnny Otunga and Big Show backstage, and Johnny's doing giving some lesbian strategy tips or what have you. And the fourth what have you video. Then they go to a Chris Jericho Fozzy video, and they mention that he'll be back next week. And God knows they sure can use him because they are so thin on talent right now. So glad he's gonna be back. So then I think it's time for the. It's time for the end of the show here, last segment. Johnny Ace is in the ring, and he says that at No Way Out, Cena cheated by having 5 of the guys, Brodus, Santino, and Zack Ryder, and whoever came out to help Cena or whatever, and and they all had to help Cena beat the Big Show. And he said, Johnny says that he himself isn't the loser, and neither is Big Show. He says the losers are the fans because people power is no longer exists. And he calls the fans in the arena and the fans watching at home all losers, like, you're a loser, you're a loser, you're a loser. And he says, the next time we see him is when he'll be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and my God, I hope that doesn't happen. But I can see it happening someday since every one of the mother goes in that thing. Whatever, And he says this is one of the darkest days in WWE history, blah, blah, blah. And then he says that Show Otunga himself will give Cena his worst beating ever. So then David Otunga comes out doing his freaking Chris Masters pose, and then Big Show comes out. They go commercial, back to the show. Teddy Long's at ringside, and he rips up that stupid giant name tag. Now that Johnny Ace is no longer the GM. And he's sitting there doing commentary. Then Big Show gets the mic and says it took 6 guys to beat him. One of them was Cena. And then Show thanks Johnny for his ironclad contract and his fat bonus, which still doesn't make sense, being that Ace was the one who made him cry and beg for his job and sacked him in the first place. And then he thanks Laurinaitis for letting Big Show be himself. And then Big Show says he's proven that he can beat Cena on his own, and he's on to bigger and better things. And he says there's no reason for him to be in this match tonight. And he tells Johnny and Otunga they're on their own. So Big Show walks out. So I guess now that Johnny Ace is no longer the GM, Big Show feels he doesn't have to be subservient to him. So then, Super Cena comes out, and of course he wins the match. It was Otunga in there with Cena, and then during the match, I forget, Johnny tagged in or whatever. He threw down his crotch, ripped off his neck bracelet and his arm sling, and then eventually, David Otunga walked out. He walked out to, I think Cena was beating on him for a while. He was going to the Ace was going to tag Otunga, and Otunga just jumped up. He just, jumped off the apron, and he was like, the hell with this, and he walked to the back. So then it's Big Johnny all himself with Super Cena, and Cena gives him an AA. The fans ask for another. You get a second one, and then he gives him a third. Then locks in the STF. Big Johnny taps out. Really not much of a match. It was a lot of the sports entertainment, hokiness that they do. And then Cena just does the "you can't see me" gesture, and Big Johnny's lying on the floor outside the ring, and that was the show pretty much. That was it. Like I say, I thought the show at best was mediocre. I wasn't really into everything. I know. Hoping to God to get Johnny Ace off TV soon. I know he's going to be doing. It's like the board of directors said that he's got to fulfill whatever obligations he has left or whatever as a way to keep on TV. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that. Like I said, Mick Foley's promo at the beginning of the show, he did the usual, getting a cheap pop. They were in Long Island, so, his hometown, which is also Zack Ryder's. And, of course, he was on Superstars this week. Again. Handicap match at the main event handicap match week. I don't know. What they're doing with Big Show, apparently, I don't know. Apparently, he's going to be in Money in the Bank. He doesn't need the title. Big Show is champion is not going to draw flies, as the saying goes. Like I said, the Cyndi Lauper, Piper, and Company segment was, for me, the worst part of this show. That segment was just so freaking sucky. It was so bad. No one even knows who the fuck Cyndi Lauper is. No, I, so it's just, it's like I said, I don't even know how many fans in the arena knew Cyndi Lauper or Wendy Richter. There must have been a lot of kids, kids there were like, okay, who are these two? Who are these two? Punk Sheamus versus Kane and Daniel Bryan was good as a match. But AJ coming out dressed up as Kane was kind of weird. Primo and Epico are faces now, because AW turned on them at No Way Out, and now he's managing million-dollar primetime players. Only, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil. Solid match, count out, finish was weak. Whole match was pointless, pretty much. Swagger and Ziggler was a solid match, but the whole reason behind it was really corny. I thought it was kind of ridiculous. The whole, it's like, oh, Vicky manages the winner. Okay, I don't know. I thought that was kind of idiotic. Like I said, Triple H, Paul Heyman segment. Like I said, mixed bag. Heyman was great on the mic. Triple H, I thought, he just bored the hell out of me, and I hated that he took another shot at ECW. Like I said, you really have to freaking do that. So Triple H at SummerSlam was booked right. It could be a really good match. And that was pretty much it. Like I say, overall, I wasn't really into this week's show that much. So I guess that'll pretty much do it for me now. That's my Raw recap. Like I say, sorry, it's a day late, but like I say, I was busy yesterday. Sorry about that, folks. So anyway, feel free to add me as a contact on YouTube. Comment as you see fit, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. You can check out TonyViz.blogspot.com, my blog site where I recap all the shows in depth. And that'll pretty much do it. So I'll be back on Friday with a post-impact video. Hoping that's going to be better than this. Like I said, I love last week's Impact. That was really good. Hopefully this one will be good too. But I'll talk about my feeling on Impact on the Impact video. But overall, I don't know. This week's Raw, I thought was a mixed bag. It was kind of mediocre for me. It didn't really work for me. At all. So like I say, it wasn't great, but but it wasn't like absolutely wretched, god awful like some of the other Raws. Like 2 weeks ago when Michael Cole got barbecue sauce. Wasn't that bad. I hope the government doesn't see that again. So that'll do it for me now. This is the Tony Viz. And signing off right now, and I'll be back on Friday with my post-impact video. Take care, everybody.